Just how do you approach a game like this?
We're really not approaching it any different than any of the games, to be honest. We've got an opponent that gives us certain different looks and challenges. So we've got to approach this game just like we would any game. So there's no, we're working on this or working on that. We certainly have things we want to work on each week and improve on. But honestly, we're approaching this game just like we would any game.
They like building momentum for the playoffs. I mean, you want to be.
Yeah, you want to continue to play winning football. So yeah, that's certainly our goal, and it's important, I think.
Even with a guy like Zeke, though, I mean, because he's such a big part of the offense, you don't really want to put 40 touches on him, knowing you need him the next week, though.
Yeah, I mean, we start formulating exactly how we're going to approach it. Usually, tomorrow, Saturday, we start putting together kind of what we're going to do from how we're rotating this game. But our mindset and approach hasn't been anything to do with who's touching the ball the most and who isn't, to be honest with you.
So you could be trying to play to win and have the mindset, but that doesn't mean everybody's playing the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really formulated exactly how that rotation is going to be, but our mindset is to play to win. Treating this game just like any other game.
How do you assess last week's game offensively, what you did? Because you were better in the red zone than you had been, but you didn't have some of the drives, and you had I think 7 possessions of less.
Yeah, we had less possessions, and we had a couple 3-and-outs, and our possession time has been clearly in our favor most of the games, and this game was different. And the long drive by the other side, and then the turnover and score, and then they back out there. Felt like we had been sitting kind of for quite a while, and it was because of a positive thing, right? So sometimes the games go that way. It's very rare to only have that many possessions in a game. You usually got 10. That's kind of the number, and it just goes to show you every possession is really critical, and it helps every time you can have a positive effect on your opportunity with that possession. So biggest thing was we knew the game was really important, that we played that game. We were smart. That we knew the turnover margin was going to be a key to the game, and so a couple times probably didn't make or take a chance on a play just because of the risk of a turnover sometimes. So I look at that as a good learning experience, and we're going to be in some games where we've got to win a shootout. So that's the way every game is going to be a little different.
What have teams done to take away?
Go ahead. When it comes to Amari, I'm sure you don't want to force anything, and he's not always going to have a game 200 yards receiving. But is there some middle ground where you just want to make sure you're always finding ways to get him involved and get him the ball?
Of course. I can go back and show you stat lines. My 3 years in Minnesota with Randy Moss, he'd have some monster games, and then some games we'd win, and he'd have 4 catches. It's just it's the way people defend you. That's why Beasley had an effective game, and Michael Gallup. It just kind of goes full circle. So there's a reason why we've been playing and performing better as a whole. Since 19 got here, so his effect is very impactful on our team. In some games, it's with a huge numbers. Some games, it's just in how the defense plays us.
So they've done things to take him away the last couple of weeks.
I think they're giving us other things, giving us other parts of our offense. So I don't know that they absolutely, but they've got a lot. He's got a lot of tension. I think of one of the third downs. It was just straight double. That used to be Beasley's deal. Beasley's. Then he was able to have the one-on-one kind of late in the game, which he hasn't seen for a while. So, like I said, it goes full circle.
Do you treat this week kind of like a preseason game?
No, it's a regular season game. We're not approaching it any different. Certainly as the end of the week progresses, as we get closer to exactly how we rotate, we just think it's really important that you continue playing winning football and approach every one of these games the same. So our guys know it's we're basically getting to the point now. It's the tournament, right? So we've got to, other than this week, you got to win to advance, right? So we've got to have that mentality.
Can you get the ball to Cooper, even though they're trying to take him away? Because you can get the ball to the people, but they don't have the same impact as when Cooper gets the ball. I mean, certainly.
Yeah, that's
game-breaking ability.
Certainly is a guy we spend a lot of time with him. We've done if you look at before he got here, and then when he got here, his production, we're doing a pretty good job of doing that. So yeah, we're pretty mindful of that. I think if you just really kind of look at it, his impact on really those big wins, 6 or 7 games. You know, he's had certainly with some monster games, he's had big impact in plays, but also in games where open up other things and guys were able to be effective in other parts of our offense.
So last week you would say that, you know, some of the stuff that Beasley
I feel like Beasley and
because of-
Gallup has a direct effect on how people defend. They know that the other guys really, you know, can be a problem. So I think other guys, and like I said, it goes full circle. You start using everybody in the offense, it comes back around to where you get the optimal looks to really have a couple more of those big games.
Nothing's ever seamless, but has his transition into this offense, especially when you consider the timing of it, you're already 8 games in. I mean, has it gone as well as expected, or even maybe exceeded?
I think it's exceeded to a certain extent because it's really hard to learn on the run. We don't have the luxury of having all those OTAs and the 4 preseason games and all that training camp in Oxnard to go back and say, hey, remember we got this when we worked in the second week of training camp. It's like, what? Hey, this is our signal for this route. Oh, we haven't run that since you've been here. You know, that kind of stuff is all, but it really works. It really works in our favor because it's fresh. I know he's embraced it, his role. We've moved him around a lot, which I think he's played both our X and our Z, and we're starting to use him in the slot more. He's kind of learning the concepts in that order, and that'll help him be more versatile for us as we move forward.
What can Tavon bring you in this game and going into the playoffs?
Well, Tavon has that unique ability of making big plays with not playing every game. You know, he's a guy that goes in there. He's going to probably feel like a guy with fresh legs on the field. Not because he's been resting. He's obviously had to recover from his injury, but he just looks like a guy that's ready to go out and give us some a big jolt in the passing game with his threat as being able to get downfield. He had a big play against our first game against Chicago. Against the Giants, and so as we look at it, he's going to be a guy that we can put in at any really receiver position to help us have a potential for some explosive plays.
Week 17 can be kind of funky in terms of just kind of not having a ton to play for. I mean, you guys are locked into your spot, win or lose. So how key is kind of that routine, maybe building some momentum before the playoffs?
Yeah, I think that's why we're approaching the game the same way. I don't think you look at it any different than any game. Certainly there's going to be discussions on exactly how you rotate or play, but everybody is ready to go. Our roster, NFL rosters, are different than colleges or preseason rosters because you don't have the luxury of saying we're going to play this unit more. We have really one unit and guys that fit into that, so we want to maintain just momentum as a team playing its best football in the second half of the year, and for us we see a huge upside to playing the game the same way.
Is that why it's different than 2016 when you did pretty much rest in the season finale? You had it locked up. You had to bye week. I think Dak played one series. Zeke didn't play at all, and so you did approach it differently than at least the way you're saying you're going to approach it now.
Yeah, I think I think that's certainly a question for Jason, Mr. Jones, as far as the approach with it is. Really, the intent wasn't to be any different, but ultimately we didn't play guys, and there was a long time between the last time they played to the first playoff game, and you could argue that it's better to keep playing, and maybe the best way of looking at it is we don't have a bye, so we just keep playing and we stay on schedule, and I think that can work in our favor.
Can you assess the season Zeke has had, number one? Number two, is it important for him to get the rushing title?
Well, I mean, I'm not, big on what the rushing title or the accolades part of it while we're in the middle of the season. It's certainly something at the end of the year you really, you're proud of and all that stuff. I think it's just important that we keep playing well, and all that other stuff becomes something you talk about at the end of the year. I think Zeke's had a great year. I think, he's earned it. He's had some games where he's had to grind out old school 100-yard games. It's not like, he had, a game where he had in three or four games where he had 200 yards. He's had consistently around 100 each game. So that's hard to do in this league with the amount of touches he's had. So, Yeah, it's a little bit of an old-fashioned way of being the guy that's leading the league in rushing. I would be very happy for him. We'd be happy for us. Right now, our focus is on just getting our 10th win.